Hello everybody. During the past months and years I received an email or a couple of emails now and then with the request of if I couldn't show how to play Lost Moments. Of course I can. The people say they looked for the chords on Chordify, and of course Chordify comes up with some chords, but mostly the very simple ones. And of course the keynote will be right, but it doesn't show you the right voicing. So I'm gonna show you the right chords now. First thing we do is, first I'm gonna show you the track. We're gonna listen to it as far as we have to. So it will show up all the included chords in the track. And I only give you the names of the chords, and I'm pretty sure when you only read the names of the chords, sometimes the chords have really big names. But later, when I show you what the chord is actually to be played on the guitar, you will be really probably amused how simple actually are these chords, because Lost Moments is actually a very simple piece of music, especially the first part. It's divided in two parts, the first part and the second part. Second part is a little bit harder, but also actually very easy to play because it's slow too. So here we go. Whoa! So, at first sight, it really looks like we have to deal here with some complicated chords, which actually is not the case, like I'm gonna explain you later, soon. Okay, when I was a beginner back in the Stone Age, now when I started to play guitar in 1978, and I had to deal with chords like these. I had to figure out chords like this. Mostly it gave me a headache because I had no idea where to find these chords and how to play them. So back then a big help to me was a book like this. It's called The Guitar Hammer, and inside you see, for example here, I hope that is to see, it shows you all different kind of chords, all the chords from each root note, how to play them and where to find them. That was a really good help, and still actually sometimes it is today. The pre-internet times, huh? The good thing about the book is it shows you all the chords, how to play them, how to find them. What it does not, what is not doing is to explain you why. Why is a suspended chord actually sound like a suspended chord, and what is it actually doing when you add a note or you take a note away? What is the meaning of a fourth, of a 11, and so on. So I was always interested in that, so I had to go a little deeper in music theory. So I bought books like this one, which explains you what is actually happening when you change the notes, the relationship to the notes, and so on. And if I wanted to go a little deeper, I also bought the second part. Yeah, but that is music theory. Can be sometimes very boring. It's not always necessary, but people like me, I always wanted to know actually what I'm doing. Anyway, today in the internet time we have, I guess you guys have that stuff like that too. It's on your cell phone is called the chord finder, and this is a really useful toy. I use this actually to figure out the chords that I played in Lost Moments, because actually when I play and when I compose, I don't think too much in names and chords. I just play around, and later on, if I want to know actually what I did there, what I'm doing, I'm gonna analyze it. So I guess it's enough talk. I'm gonna grab my guitar now, and I guess we have a look now first for the first section, and you're gonna be really surprised probably how easy it is, because there's a little trick about. Is that right, Miss Pollard? So here we go with the first part, which is actually very easy, because like I told you before, there's a little trick. Actually the whole first section, the whole first part is actually only based on one chord. It's only it's one chord. It's actually not a real chord. It's the so-called, we called it power chord back in the days, but is also known as the fifth. This one. Which is only like when we take here a C is the root note, is the fifth, and the root note again, just one octave higher. In this case would be a C5. The point is actually, as long as you only play the three notes on these strings, it will be a fifth chord, which is actually not a real chord, because as you might know, a real chord contains actually three notes. So yeah, if you add the third for the major, or the little third for the minor, you have a gander. It sounds happy or it sounds sad. But when you play the fifth, when you leave the third away, no gander anymore. And then now the trick is actually what I did here. I used the power chord and I just wander up and down in different positions, so you have different chords, and I add the H and the E string, and I play them open. See what happens here again. The C5, and if you add now the H and E string, it turns out to be a major 7. Now all you have to do is you start with the B, and it goes like this. Later on, I just play it quick, and later on I show you, I zoom into the fretboard and I really give you the names of the chords, and I also play it a little slower so it's easier to learn, I think. Okay, looks like this and sounds like this. All you have to do is play the power chord, the fifth chord, and always add the H and the E string, like this. Here is the reason why when I played what is it? The E suspended 4. This would be the E suspended 4, but when you add the third, it becomes A minor. Because in the end of the chord I always play a little around with the third here. Play it and put it away. So once again. By the way, I just noticed that actually to complete the whole piece I forgot one chord but that is not a problem. It's only the E5. This one is played in the when shortly before we change from part 1 to part 2. There is the E5 and I forgot to add it there. So one more time. Here's the E5. So, and now a little bit slower, and I give you all the chords, the position and the names. So, as you could see, actually very simple. To say it in easy words, it's actually nothing else than playing a power chord and moving up and down the fretboard. But one of my music teachers in the past, he used to tell me that mostly jazz guitar players are always very proud when they can come up with big names of chords, for what reason ever. And I don't know if that is actually true. Maybe you write me something in the comments about that. The first part, as you could see, is played with the right hand with the pick. And I slightly use the vibrato here. And now for the second part, we use fingers. It's the finger picking like this. I don't have fingernails. I pick with the fingers. But we talk about the specific sound a little bit in the end. There's actually not so much to tell about. It's very simple. Okay, talking about the voicing. What the people wrote me in the email is that the problem what they have with the Chordify, that when it shows you the chords, is mostly the simple chords. That is because, as you might know or might not know, you can play one chord in different positions. The included notes will be actually always the same, but when you change the position, it sounds slightly different. Every position sounds a little bit different. For example, let's take a simple chord like a G major, and you can play it like this. You can play it like this. Barre. You can play it like this. Or you can play it like this. It's all a G, but we have 4 different positions, and I think each one sounds a little bit different, and that is what the sound and the voicing is all about. For example, in Lost Moments, this is the position of the G chord, what I use. That's actually all. A few words about the chords, because now we're gonna zoom in again to the fretboard and I'll show you. Probably also I try to show you not only the left but also at the same time the right hand. About the names, there will be chords who have this omit inside, and omit is actually nothing else than another description for like suspended, to leave it, don't play it. I guess the difference to suspended and omit is that in a suspended the actually note is not included in the chord, and with the omit chords the note is included but you don't play it. I think. I'm not sure. Maybe some people who know it better than I do. You can write every time in the comments and tell me. I'm always open for that. And another thing is we have these chords and then there comes the slash and there comes, for example, a big E or big D, and that means also nothing else that we have a chord like, for example, a C major slash E, and there is another bass note is included included in that chord. That's actually all what it means. Alright, I guess I talked enough again, and now we're gonna zoom in and I show you the second part of Lost Moments, and I play it very slow so you can easily follow the chords. Yes. So, and we're done. That was actually the whole track, and now you have all the chords, everything you need to know. I have to apologize a little, I guess here in the second section when I played, that was a little crappy playing because I was absolutely not warmed up, and I think the guitar also was a little bit slightly out of tune. But I think for the purpose of just explaining the track, it will work. Should be good enough, okay? And now about the sound. Like I told you, the first section with the right hand is played with a pick. Second section is played with the fingertips, and I also switched between the positions of bridge single coil in the first section and the neck single coil for the finger picking section for the second section. I used a compressor to make the sound a little more aligned. Most important, I think, is to have a huge reverb. I used the Strymon Blue Sky here, make it really big and bright. The delay is set to quarter notes, and later on when I overdub the guitars, I use the chorus, the Ibanez chorus. That's actually nothing really special here. Okay, in the liner notes down here I put you the links where you can find the track Lost Moments in complete here to listen on YouTube. But I would recommend to listen on YouTube Music, because for some reason, in my opinion, it sounds better there. And of course you can find it on all other streaming services like Spotify, Amazon. You will find the track anywhere. But of course I would recommend for a real good sound experience to go to my homepage and download the track. Don't worry, it just costs a few cents. It won't make you poor and it won't make me rich. But the difference in sound it makes when you listen to the complete WAV file, which is of course a bigger amount of data, but the difference it makes compared to MP3 and WAV file is really huge, and it sounds so much better. But I leave it up to you. So I guess that's all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed that and I could help you with the chords, and then maybe you give me a nice cover version. I think it will also sound nice just being simply played on an acoustic guitar. But probably the one or other guy will give me here maybe a cover version or something. Yeah, just let me know if you have any questions or comments. Just tell me. Bye for now. See you next time.